Have you ever seen grown men in superhero costumes racing bikes at 35 miles per hour in the dark? Well, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, my name is Brian, that's Tyler, and that's Tyler. Or as I like to say, allow me to introduce my associates, Mr. McCool, Mr. Moses, and I'm Mr. Boyd, in case you were wondering where the name came from. Now, we're Florida boys, but for this adventure, we're in Athens, Georgia.
So you have the Tour de France, which is super long stages, 6 hours. Then you have a crit race. It's hour and a half. And a crit race is like the finish of one of those long stages. The entire time, it's fast, it's hard. There are no breaks, It's one of those things where when you're done, you're glad you're done. And you don't want to do it again, but for some reason, you always come back.
The first time I raced this, it was nothing that I've ever done before. There's never been a crowd like this. It's the Super Bowl. It's the one that I look forward to absolutely the most, but it's also the first one in the series.
There's a reason Athens Twilight starts the series. Athens is both a race and a place. The course is lined with people, drinking, eating, and cheering on the riders. Athens Twilight Criterium is one of the most iconic cycling events in the United States, and its impact on the cycling world is undeniable. Athens launched in 1980 with the Tasmanian Rocket Danny Clark taking the first win. You may have heard of a race in Europe called Le Tour de France. Well, back in 1986, Davis Finney smashed a win in Athens in April, and then became the first American to win a stage at the Tour de France in July.
I would not like to say it looked like Finney. I'm in shock. I'm in complete shock. This is my first race win as a professional in Europe, and couldn't have been better. I'm amazed, and I'm just tremendously pleased. I found my biggest victory in my career.
Every year, riders sweep past the historic Georgia Theater. Now, this town hasn't changed much since REM and the B-52s roamed the streets.
We're coming up to the Georgia Theater, which is one of the places everybody played early on in Athens.
Athens brings the best teams, not just then, but now. Teams like Butcher Box, powered by Look, Legion of Los Angeles, Miami Knights, Automatic, Texas Roadhouse Cycling, and Hagens Berman Action.
Yeah, I'm John Martin, and we're in Athens, Georgia, Georgia's classic city. Makes for a great fan base at Athens Twilight. We're hosting the Butcher Box team this week. Having those guys in and all through the week of Speed Week, which is the whole following week. So they've been in since Thursday, and today's Saturday morning. So we had some good food and good breakfast, and really looking forward to a good time tonight and watching them take some podiums.
More so to me, and I think other crit racers who like racing, like winning, it's a place where we can let it out with a team. We're together, but we're also so separate because we're all in our own little bubble, trying to work together, all super scared of the exact same thing, and that's the other riders.
Now, what Eddie's talking about here is crashing. It's a bit superstitious, but racers don't like to talk about crashing before the race. Athens Twilight is loud, fast, intense, nighttime madness. Some would call it a knife fight in the dark.
It's the old course, but that means 90 different things to 100 different people. It's always a rectangle, and it's always brutally hard regardless of what we're doing. This year, it's flatter compared to the regular course, which is clockwise, and you go up the hill and downhill. And this is going to be just as hard by virtue of speed. What we take out in hardness in this bike race with the course, it's made up for everybody trying to murder each other for 90 minutes.
At the start of the race, the riders are packed elbow to elbow. The crowd is waiting. The Tylers are ready. The pace car peels around corner 1, and the race is on.
So, first corner, you're going to see everybody go as hard as they can.
It's a bike race, not a fight, but the lines get blurred with 10 laps to go.
First lap, second lap, third lap, etc. First corner is important.
Guys here go at it from lap 1. Not because they have to, but because they can. And if they can, everyone else can, and if we all can, we all have to, because we're all doing it. So you don't want to be the one standing out and not doing it. You're going through a corner at 35, and you see the ground on one side, and you see berries on the other side, and then there's a rider in front of you and a rider behind you, and it's like you have 2 inches either way to make a mistake. And if something goes wrong in those 2 inches, then, you know, either race over or you get back up and finish. Yeah.
You can be doing 30, 32 miles an hour through those corners all night. You don't have to touch your brakes once in this race. Out of corner 2, you've swept past the historic Georgia Theater. You are full gas. A gentle rise up into corner 3, where you are carrying a ton of speed. You are on as close to a knife's edge as you can to maintain that speed that you've put all this work into generating up the hill. And out of corner 4, depending on what lap it is, it's I've said full gas the whole time, but it is. There's no point where you rest it at Athens. And out of corner 4, in the last 2 laps, last lap, it's all sort of this wall of sound. And speed and up blur, and you have no blood in your brain, and you just die for the line up that hill.
Well, there you have it. That's the Athens Twilight Criterium. It's more than a mere gathering of riders. It's a celebration of the human spirit.
Yeah.
This is way worse than racing, isn't it?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys rolling?